Good evening to you, Bastian. So if these were normal times, if Bayern Munich had won, we would see people all over the place celebrating, but these are not normal times. So how are people celebrating tonight?
These are not normal times, Brent, and you can see behind me there's a few people at this bar where we're at in downtown Munich. Now, it's a lot quieter than it would be in any other given year. I spoke to the owner of this bar before, and he told me that usually in a different year he would have expected 600 to 800 people here. Where we are right now, you can only see a few of the people that are here, but he told me that tonight there's maybe 200 people because he can't let in as many people as he would like because of social distancing rules. So obviously it's a lot more quiet. Also, the bar, in theory, would have had to close some 20 minutes ago, but police are a bit more lenient on a night like this, so they're letting people stay and finish watching the game. Also, what we're not going to be seeing this year is after the season, there's usually a huge party when Bayern win the title at Marienplatz, which is the main square in downtown Munich, where there's thousands of people who gather and who celebrate, and the team comes out onto the balcony of City Hall. All of that won't be happening this year, Brent.
Life is very cautiously returning to the streets of Salzburg. But it's clear that this normality will look different to the one that Salzburgers knew before.
Usually, this street would be packed with tourists from neighboring countries like Germany or from overseas. For the people who live here, this is a dream. They finally get to have their city to themselves. But for the many businesses that depend on tourism, the end of the lockdown is just the first step, because what they really need is the borders to open.
The border between Germany and Austria reopened just a few hours ago. Give us a sense of what the situation is.
As you can see, Michael, it's fairly quiet. There's one car at the checkpoint right now. But if you look over here, this lane, I've been told, is up until yesterday, this was packed with cars at any given moment because police pulled over every car that wanted to cross the border. Now they're only checking at random. If you do get pulled over, like that car behind me, they'll ask you why you want to enter the country. Then you have to make their case to the officers. And if they think your reason is good enough, they'll let you through. If they don't, they'll turn you back and they'll escort you back across the border to Austria, Michael.
The mayor of Munich has said this is an emotionally difficult moment to cancel the Oktoberfest. Why is it so emotional?
Well, absolutely, it is, because you have to understand that for the city of Munich and for the people who live here, the Oktoberfest is much more than just another huge party. It's got a really long tradition. It's been around for more than 200 years, and it's something that's deeply ingrained into the DNA of this city. And on top of that, it's also shaped the image of not only Munich and Bavaria, but also to a certain degree all of Germany, really, all around the world. If you ask anyone, anywhere, what they associate with Germany, one of the first answers that you'll always get is going to be the Oktoberfest.
Samba Ba is a regular at this textile store in Bad Tölz, a small town close to the Bavarian Alps. Samba is a migrant from Senegal. He comes here to choose the fabric for the face masks he makes together with fellow migrants and refugees. It's their contribution in an effort to keep the coronavirus at bay in the crowded refugee centers like the one where he lives.
In a room, you can have 4 people or 5 people in one room. They say that the corona can have in your body 14 days before it will soar. So you can have it and we are at the same place, we will not know. So then the whole place will get it.
We visit a migrant center in Rosenheim that was among the hardest hit by the pandemic. It's been under lockdown for some 6 weeks. It wasn't until recently that those who had tested positive for the coronavirus were taken to a different facility for isolation along with their families, after a month of quarantine. Simon Neuchel is a volunteer helper at the refugee center. He can't understand why authorities didn't act sooner.
I
think what was really needed from the outset was a plan for what to do if more than 2 or 4 people are infected. How can we accommodate people so they can live reasonably? In the schools, we're now dividing the classrooms up in a different way. There's been a change with physical distancing. Tables are empty. The same is true in beer gardens. But here in the center, everything's the same as it used to be. Many of the residents share bathrooms. Almost all of them share kitchens. It's practically inevitable that people are constantly getting infected. At Samba's accommodation in Bad Tölz, he and the other residents don't want to rely solely on the authorities. They say they've already made 26,000 face masks to distribute to other accommodations all over Bavaria. And they plan to keep going until their situation improves.